In our last class, we started talking on, or we continued our discussion on industrial conflict and resolution of problem solving. Right? So, I was able to also look at life cases. And I remember I gave some assignments, I gave some things to go study or read up, which I want to believe that you all done. And I've also given you the subject, the nature of the subject that you're going to be using for your submission. Okay, so I want to implore that we take our classes very seriously. There's no time for that to learn. Uh, if, as you can see on the screen, without wasting much time, we'll just go straight to uh, the area of study for today. So we're looking at the kind of relationship. Well, we still an overview, though we touched this area briefly in our previous class, but maybe we'll just discuss it a little further. All right. Um, we we have looked at various areas of conflict, the causes, and the rest of it. What could lead to conflict, how it can be resolved, or how it can be handled. The factors that would bring about conflict and the rest of it. Okay. But one other area we need to really pay attention to is the power relationship in organizations. We talked about this briefly before. Okay. Now, we have three basic types, which is the equal, versus equal. Then we'll also look at the behavioral tendency, like you can see on the screen, and begin to talk about some examples. All right. Excuse me. All right. So we have the equal. I In the last class I used an orthogonal kind of relationship in addressing this that we have between the higher level and the lower level. Then we also have between equal level. That's like on the 90. Then you also have the one that's like a triangle, which is high versus low. You know, you know. So this is a basic design of how they look like, how the relationship will look like. Right. Okay. We have the equal versus equal. So we look at the suboptimization, that the behavioral tendencies and problems. Now, part of the behavioral tendencies you see in this kind of relations when it's between colleagues of about the same level or departments of the same level or organizations that are within the same strata, okay, or staff that are within the same cadre, the same ranking or within that region. Okay, we see it as equal versus equal. So you could have competition or um, covert fighting or constant friction. Constant friction, competition. Most times when you discover in organizations, people want to outdo the other person. You want it to be that yes, you're the best of it. You want to, with all in the speed of trying to put in your best, we end up having so much competition amongst ourselves. All right. So that's at the point. And examples, or examples of the kind of intervention that comes in this kind of case is to teach negotiating skills, to integrate the units. So the kind of intervention that will come in equal um, versus equal. Let me quickly say this. I think I mentioned this before. The kind of resolutions or interventions or management approach for conflict management depends on the or varies rather from based on the kind of relationship that exists. All right. Like in this equal versus equal, you can see that the intervention here is for us to integrate the units, bring them together, try to make them have a common goal. You understand? Define the demarcation line. Everybody know your area of expertise. Without this, some cases you see some organizations
Please let's be patient for join us soon. I guess he's having issue with his network. So,
Mr. you can all hear me. All right.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. And I believe you can also see my screen clearly. All right. So quickly, that explains it. Then we have the high versus low versus medium. High versus middle versus low. We have high versus low. In such cases, the behavioral tendencies or likely problems that we encounter is control versus autonomy, you know, resistance to change as part of the science and motivation problems too. So when you're dealing with your boss directly, you know, or your or the management or maybe um, employees just direct, you know, such cases you have in management introducing some kind of change in structural change or operational changes, you know, this could bring some kind of conflict, especially when the employees are not properly carried along. So let's imagine cases of something like what's happening in most organizations at the moment, where uh, they are having to slash 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 salaries of uh, kind of lay off some hands and all that. Now you discover that these things could bring conflict also. Two cases where unions intervene in some organizations or in some industries. You see unions coming in to want to resist the change and all that kind of stuff. You know, so a good intervention approach would be to prioritize the power through rules and also to use a different leadership style, you know, a different leadership style. If the leadership style used to be dictatorial, you can decide to make use of a dialogue kind of approach, kind of dialogue, a leadership style that will involve dialogue, where you get to negotiate or you can kind of um, give a listening ear to the clients of the people and then see how you can come to a compromise and all that. That is part of the approach. Then we have the one for high versus middle versus low, where you involve where you have conflict, role conflict, you know, role ambiguity and stress. This one usually happens when you're considering three levels. You have the middle, you top management, senior management, maybe um, junior staff kind of relationship. Where you see double talking. Top management is maybe giving an instruction or a directive. Senior management is trying to make it different. Junior staff will want to go with what the top management has said, or whichever way to go with it, different ways. Uh, so you could have conflicting um, commands, you could have double talking, conflicting commands or instructions, or double talking, or use of sanctions and the rest of it. Use of sanctions and rewards. Now, that's another area too that causes conflict. Some people are feeling awards or rewards. Some people are sanctioned. Some people feel they also have been rewarded, but they're not getting some rewards and all that stuff. This comes in this high versus middle versus low. And how do you do that? You improve communication. Then you also teach power strategy. Many organizations don't take this into cognition. You need to teach leadership skills to your staff. You need to also teach power strategies too, and then clarification of tasks is very important. Let everybody be able to know what is expected of them, what their job description is, their JD, you know, they should be able to understand that. So the defense mechanisms that we have in conflict um, management, to have the aggressive mechanism, that one involves fixation, displacement, and negativism. For the purpose of time, I would like you to go do some uh, active studies on all these areas of defense mechanisms. Where we talk about this. For fixation, we talk about an individual and keeps up it, we talked about this functional kind of conflict before. So somebody bringing up with this dysfunctional behavior that obviously will not solve the conflict. You know, some people just put up some kind of behavior. It will worsen most times in this kind of case. You see some behaviors worsen the conflict instead of it solving such conflict. Okay. Then negativism also. Some people just respond in pessimism to any attempt to solving a problem. They're always negative. They are never optimistic. They just always see a problem in a problem. They don't see a problem as a challenge that has a solution. They always want to just look at a big problem like there's no way. No, you should always have a way, an option, alternative ways, and that's much better. Otherwise, to be an aggressive kind of mechanism. Then we have the compromise mechanism. We have the compromise mechanism, which consists of the compensations, identification, rationalization. When we talk about identification, we're talking about an individual pattern. And when an individual pattern is our behavior after another. So, in this case, influence. comes in to play. Maybe some people just influence people, and you see some that person their behavior in that way. This is not conflict anyway. This example I'm used for in itself. In the music industry, many of us must have heard of this young man called Naira Marley. Now, that's a case study of someone that has been able to influence people with his behavior or with his pattern, with his style and all that. And you now see people trying to, in the industry partners, trying to pattern themselves and you see, my first everybody says, hey, I'm a Malian, I'm a Malian, I'm a Malian. You don't wear belts, you don't do this, you don't do that. And they will start having rules and they want to start living in that lifestyle, you know. Now, that's an identity that in itself. So when you bring that into conflict resolution, try to synchronize such nature or which suppose that with conflict management, you discover that some people get to pattern their behavior after someone else invitation. You know, the rationalization part is where a compromise mechanism that arises by trying to justify one's behavior and constructing bogus reasons for it. You just it doesn't really make sense when you want to you want it to just apply sometimes, so you just justify the behavior using some kind of bogus reason for that. Okay. All right. Now they'll have the withdrawal mechanism. The withdrawal mechanism um, involves fight to withdraw and fight or withdraw. That's physical escaping of conflict. That's one of flight. FLIGTH. That's flight. Okay, from flight, or psychologically escaping it, withdraw. You don't, sometimes you just keep quiet or you just ignore or you avoid such cases and all that kind of stuff. So that's the withdrawal mechanism. Yeah. Then conversion, that's an emotional conflict. When emotional conflict are expressed in physical symptoms, this usually will happen to when emotions are brought into um, administration. Alright, you now discover that you start having emotional conflict being expressed in physical symptoms, like maybe through malice and the rest of it. You know. Okay. We also have fantasy as part of that. Now, in the strategy, we have the win-lose and the win-win strategy for conflict management. Now, if you cannot see the screen clearly, I will just explain this briefly. When you have depart- two departments in an organization trying to having conflict, now anytime it is competitive, you discover that the organization will be at the losing end. But when it is a cooperative, then the organization is at the winning end. What do I mean? When if Department A loses and Department B loses in the conflict, for instance, the organization is also losing. If one wins, the other one loses. The organization also, there's a high tendency of the organization losing also. If one, but if both of them win, that's where they come to a compromise. We are able to come to a synergy. All right, we discover that in the end, everybody is winning. That's what it means. Now, we talk about ineffective strategies for dealing with conflict. There are some strategies you will apply. You want some people apply or some organizations apply to handle conflict, but experience and you know, practice have shown that these strategies or techniques rather are usually ineffective. Number one is character assassination. What do we mean by character assassination? When you destroy the, when you defend the image of someone, you just want to talk the person down, you say all negatives about someone or about the personality. involved in the conflict, instead of trying to understand why this person does this, or what he does, or she does, and all that stuff. So that's like character assassination. Now, on top of that, you have non-action, not taking any action at all, not taking any action at all in this conflict. That is also an ineffective technique. Another one, secrecy. You start keeping behind instead of making everything open. In some cases, you start trying to make it a secret kind of thing. So that in itself can also it's also an ineffective approach. Then you have the other ones, which is due process non-action and administrative auditing. Due process non-action means you know the due process that is supposed to be followed. Um, Looking at the examples that we cited before, you know the due process. If you are supposed to make a report, make a reconciliation, um, and really account for every kobo that is spent through the reconciliation of whatever was disposed, even though it was disposed um, without specifying. By the time it's being reconciled, it's expected that, okay, you account that, okay, X was spent for this, Y was spent for this, Z was spent for this. This is what was left, so this is the deficit or the balance and all that. Now, that's maybe a due process for an organization, but that's not being followed, and everybody just thinks and there's conflict in such case. Now, it can also extend from there to the approach when you have insubordination, for instance, or non-compliance to a due process, what action is also taken. If no action is taken too, that can also be a due process non-action. All right. Then we go to the effective techniques for dealing with conflict. Some of the effective techniques that will always help in resolving conflicts is number one, super subordinate goals. Subordinate goals. The goals of the organization supersede any other individual goals and should be taken as paramount. Okay, so everything done should drive towards those goals. All right, confronting and negotiating. You approach um, the parties involved and get involved in negotiation, like a compromise. Negotiating is helping to come to a compromise, helps to come to a compromise. It helps us to arrive at a compromise. Then change structure. If you discover that the structure that is of an organization is not or an area in an organization is causing conflict. Look, consider how it can be restructured to still achieve the subordinate goal and still be able to come to or resolve the conflict, right? Then we'll expand resources here. This could be cost intensive. Expanding resources could be very cost intensive, but also is an effective technique for dealing with conflict. Then we have changing of personnel. When you have negative people in an organization, if you have people who always want to cause trouble, who are always trouble, looking at how to get how to cause conflict at every time. Not even, especially those who are more destructive, who do more destructive criticism instead of constructive criticism. Such people are not supposed to remain in an organization that wants to move forward. All right, those who are always pessimistic, you have to change such personnel and bring in personnel who have the goal of the organization at heart and are driven by the same passion. Okay, so um, from there we talk about approaching the approaches to negotiation. We have distributive bargaining and we have the goal. In distributive bargaining, the goals of the parties in conflict and each party seek to maximize resources. That's the distributive bargaining. Whatever resources is available. We try to see how we can maximize it at the same. In the end, each party is satisfied, excuse me, at least with based on the resources available to try to maximize the utility. So it may involve each party looking at the opportunity cost for them, that's the alternative that they will have to forego, you know. So in such cases, that's an area of negotiation. Then we have the the integrative negotiation. The integrative negotiation focuses on the merits of issues and seeks a win-win situation or solution. The merits of the issue, the advantages or the positive side. Let's focus on that. Okay? And we now see how we can both achieve that. In the end, everybody is a winner. Everybody will achieve the success. You can come to a compromise that too. You know, as I've always said, the negotiation is the way of coming to what? Compromise. Alright? Then we have conflict management styles that we ever talked about. We've about this already, avoiding, accommodating, avoiding the deliberate decision to take no action on the conflict or stay out of the conflict. Now, that's not always very effective. In fact, it's not so, as I say, it has the merits and merits anyway. But then we have accommodating as concerned that the other party's goal should be met, but relatively unconcerned with getting your own goal. This is the part where you become selfless, and looking at the interest of the other person first before your own interest. That's accommodating. The competing is when you want to satisfy your own interest, willing to do whatever it takes at any other person's expense, which a lot of people do. They are in some organizations. So you be at whatever so it's not always the best approach anyway. Then you have the compromising. Each party gives up something to reach a solution. Alright? That's where we look at alternative for all, opportunity cost. Consider that. So you can eventually have a common landing as it were, or collaboration. Alright? Then this is um, a diagrammatic expression of, of the conflict management style. So we we have at the top the assertive and we have the unassertive. Right? Um, Assertiveness, when we're talking about assertiveness, we are looking at the desire to satisfy one's own goal. Alright? Then when we're looking at cooperativeness, that is the aspect that deals with a desire to satisfy another concern or the other person's consent. Alright? So accommodating is at the height of cooperative cooperativeness, while competing is at the height of assertiveness. Avoiding is list of unassertiveness at the height of unassertiveness or the list of assertiveness. Okay, that's the way it's designed, as you can see. Because when you're competing, that's like you are being very, very assertive. And when you are accommodating, you are being very, very cooperative. That's what we try to say. All right. So a conflict positive, creating a conflict positive organization. Uh, we look at uh, let me see this before we go further. Yes. So what you can see on the screen there is the assignment for this class, industrial conflict resolution. You have this as a subject. You have to send it to engineering.jpts@gmail.com using this subject, which are 601 assignment 3, then the name of your center and state. I beg of you, some of you are still submitting your assignment without putting the proper subject in the mail. Subject of a mail is, let me show you an example of what it looks like. When you're going to send the mail, this region here, after you put so blah blah blah, maybe engineering, hmm? This is where you put the address. This place here is where you put the subject, HRON, blah blah blah, before you put the body and maybe attach your name. I had to do this. I'm not supposed to be showing you that, like I say, but I have to do that for the sake of some people are still making some mistakes. So you put at that place I show that the subject, you put HRON 601 assignment 3. Otherwise it will be difficult to sort it out and that will become a problem. Please take note of that. Alright? So take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of this. The assignment will give a comprehensive review on the stages of conflict. That's what I'm going to discuss next. Extensively discuss on conflict management styles. The conflict management styles, we have already discussed that earlier. Then it's important I talk about this too. Okay, the competitive conflict under organizational view, the three organizational views of conflict. We have the competitive conflict. We have the uh, avoidance of conflict, and we have the positive conflict. Okay, uh, in positive conflict, we are running around like it goes from value value diversity to seek mutual benefit to empowerment and then taking of stock. Each of them are interconnected to each other. Alright, so whichever way we are going, whether clockwise or clockwise, we are achieving the same thing. But for avoidance conflict, you have evading differences and you try to reduce risk, withdrawal, and despair. These are the constituents of, of avoidance of conflict. Okay. Now, quickly, I want to talk about the stages of conflict. In the stages of conflict, we have five of them. We have five stages of conflict. Number one is the pre-conflict or latent stage. Pre-conflict or latent stage. We have the we also have the outcome and we have the post-conflict. Okay, before that, we'll have the confrontation or emergence stage. Okay, we have five different stages. Number one is the conflict or latent stage. Pre-conflict or latent stage, that's before, just at the beginning, like the foundation. At this period, when there is an incompatibility of goals, that's where it starts from. That's where it starts building up. Okay, you know, between two or more parties. Now, this could lead to open conflict eventually. So it's like you're sitting on a keg of gunpowder, it's just brewing up to become a full-blown conflict. Now, we have the confrontation or emergence. You know, at this stage, conflict has become open after it has been latent and nothing was done at that point. When nothing is done at stage one, it goes to the next
Engineer, my
stage.
time up.
Okay, 2 minutes, please. It goes to the next stage, which is okay,
Engineer, my
goes to
time
the
up.
next stage. Just a minute. So we have confrontation or emergency, then we have crisis or escalation, then we have outcome and post-conflict. Post-conflict is finally the situation has been resolved in a way that it has not led to ending of any violence or confrontation, and everybody now have a common goal or everybody is at peace with each other one another. Please take note of this assignment, ensure you do them, ensure you attend them, and in our next class we'll be discussing on some other areas more in detail. Please read up the resolving the techniques, read up and also discuss on the techniques for resolving industrial conflict. Very important. God bless you all. Um, I hope to see you or be able to see you in the next class. Bye.